showtime.
Good morning, Vietnam! Welcome to the party, pal!
See you at the party, Richter!
I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Get away from her, you bitch!
I'll be back.
I'll be back. You did not gonna say that, did you? What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
The dude abides.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Inconceivable!
Little Dallas multipass.
This is a tasty burger.
Please.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I'm the bad guy?
And hold. Smash.
I can speak with an English accent.
Hit the hash pipe and join the National Guard. I could be elected president.
You went over my helmet?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
I know, right?
The list is in the open!
Hey, where are the white women at?
They're digging in the wrong place.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Are you not entertained?
Second star to the right, and straight on till morning.
Meow.
You son of a bitch.
21 gigawatts!
Wax on, wax off.
Oh my goodness, I am sporting a tremendous Woody right now.
Bartender is the aristocrat of the working class.
You want to flip 6 3-hole play and you could score.
Cover me.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. On this team, we fight for that itch.
Might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No ticket.
No ticket.
I get older, they stay the same age.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. He's 15.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate. All my feelings. How are you, sir?
I'm good, but every single time you go rush to make coffee right before, I'm like, so I might have to do the good evening spiel.
No.
Am I?
Absolutely
and then
not.
He pops up with thumbs up. All right.
What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go watch a movie. You watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you. This month, we conclude the month of March, which we dubbed It's Graphic, with movies that are based upon graphical novels. We finish off with Sin City by Frank Miller. I have watched this movie again today, and like I said behind the scenes, I really enjoyed it for a completely different reason. Have you watched it today or during the week?
Actually watched it once yesterday afternoon, prepping notes, and then once this morning.
Oh, cool.
Which,
by the way, I think I have the longer version. Sorry.
How long was your runtime?
221 technically.
Yeah, so you actually have the collector's edition cut.
Okay.
So if there is some stuff that you mentioned that I don't mention, it's because that's in there. Some of the deleted scenes were added in there. A lot of more extra violence and
I think Bruce Willis stuff, and I don't remember Carla Gugino getting shot. I don't remember that scene.
No, she was, but the one thing that was cut from the theatrical was Jackie Boy in the DVD release and subsequent releases on streaming was Jackie Boy hitting Sheila. It just shows the aftermath where it just shows her down going like, well, you shouldn't have pestered him like that. You shouldn't have pressed his buttons like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's say hello to the crowd that is gathered here today. We'll say hello to Kaladin. We'll say hello, good evening to Juliet, and the rest of the lurkers that are trickling in from the Salty Nerd podcast soon, probably. But we will start.
I will say to start off, Juliet, you were absolutely right. The second one, A Dame to Kill For, was actually previous stories that were supposed to be that all take place before all the stories in Sin City, which They should have done that in reverse if they wanted to tell a dame to kill for. Because that was...
Yes, and there's also a scene with Clive Owen that kind of is lifted off from a dame to kill for, I think, in the bar, but I'm not sure if it's in my extended cut or in the regular cut, so I have no idea. Anyway,
well, it's also one of the reasons why Dwight refers to Marv so well is because Marv helped Dwight in A Dame to Kill For.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get to all the character stuff when we get to them.
All right. So we begin at the beginning with a little segment we call Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
I had to put Marv on. I wanted to put maybe,
Hardigan.
Bruce Wells character. Hardigan.
Yeah.
But I went with Marv.
I would say just to start off, obviously we have to start with the budget.
Wait. Well, we'll introduce it. What is Behind the Screens? Behind the Screens is where we turn to All My Feelings, get the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, production stuff, creative, all that good stuff. Take it away, sir.
So, as I abruptly ran into, it's fine. I
had to put it in there. Otherwise, it messes with my OCD.
So, only a $40 million budget. When you look at the art house style of how this was done and how this kind of set up the backlot kind of shooting style, that especially we mentioned that last week with 300, another Miller project, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This was one of the major first films that did primarily backlot. They only had 3 actual live sets: the solitary confinement cell that Hardigan's in,
yes,
Katie's interior,
Katie's the bar, okay,
the saloon, yeah, and then Nancy's actual apartment when they're in Nancy's apartment.
Okay,
when Marv brings Goldie to Nancy's. Those are the 3 practical shot. Everything else is all just it's just digital backlot. I mean, it's
technically it's Robert Rodriguez's backlot.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk about Mr. Rodriguez in a second.
Okay.
But with that $40 million budget, the turnaround on it was insane because nobody wanted to even finance this at all. Like it was stuck in limbo for quite a long time. And it really took Rodriguez kind of pushing the Weinsteins a little bit and having the backing of Miramax that got several other backers beyond that. And also, it's Troublemaker Studios, which is Rodriguez's own studio.
Yeah.
But overall, again, $158.7 million gross, almost 4 times its initial actual budget. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
For a film that was considered unmakeable to begin with.
Plus it's an R-rated film, which technically it's not a big. All the big R-rated films that we know have not done like supremely well. They did well. They didn't do supremely well just because of the R rating. It just limits your crowd.
Yeah.
And it's a concept film more than a film itself.
I wouldn't say it's not even a concept film. It's a direct homage to the actual novel, which we're going to get to. But
Rodriguez said this is not adaptation. It's straight up. It's a translation from comic to screen.
Yeah.
He said, I don't even consider this an adaptation.
No, that's why
there's pages.
If you notice, there's no actual screenwriting credit. It's just listed as based on the graphic novels by Frank Miller. That's it.
Yeah. All the text, all the stuff is already in there, which is amazing.
Amazing. One of the major big hiccups, though, which is so funny, is while the principal photography began on March 29th of 2004, many of the scenes were actually shot months prior with stand-ins because it was all backlot.
Really?
So some of the casting wasn't even finalized when Rodriguez already had some shots done.
Wow.
So they actually had the actors digitally put in post.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't know that.
And do you notice that
really?
you know that Mickey Rourke and Elijah Wood, they never even met each other until the premiere of the movie.
Yeah, I knew that.
And also, Rourke never met Rutger Hauer.
No.
Rourke had to react to a recording of Rutger Hauer's speech to him.
Yeah, I had that. I didn't have a lot of notes today, but I had that in my notes too.
Yeah, but it's crazy how this whole thing panned out, and it gets really interesting. Hey Finn.
Hi Finn. Yeah, continue.
The
Please don't be disturbed by the flashing stuff on the screen.
I know. The only actual changes that were made to the dialogue were to make it just the dialogue more concise. There were a lot of some exposition dumps that were left out that were added actually into the collector's edition that you watched, the 220 version.
Mostly ADR stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mostly like inner thoughts, that sort of a thing.
Inner monologue or narration.
Yeah. Okay.
And to appease the MPAA they removed some nudity.
Removed some nudity. Okay.
Yes, and they toned down a lot of violence.
That was toned down?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about certain scenes when we get to them, what they toned down, and there's a reason why they did, because it was like, yeah, that was even too much. It was way too much. They would have.
I mean, when the yellow guy got killed, wasn't that too much?
No, it was worse.
Worse. Well, I guessed as much with the old MPAA when I first saw the movie, because you do see red blood in certain areas. But when it goes completely crazy, that's where you see white blood or yellow blood and all that stuff. Yeah,
we're going to talk about the blood in a second too, which is really interesting. But first, I want to get back to so we have that, and the actual deleted scenes were added to the collector's edition. So any deleted scenes that were cut, you saw that because you watched the collector's one.
Yeah.
I was only going for the theatrical one. I do own the collector's edition, but I didn't review that one because I figured you would want to go for theatrical.
I couldn't find any other.
Yeah, you're fine.
I told you.
It's not big.
Nowadays, if I need to watch a movie, getting only the theatrical is actually trickier than getting the director's cut or the ultimate cut or whatever, especially with like Snyder stuff. That's like, if I wanted to watch Justice League, which I don't, it's harder to get the Joss Whedon cut than it is the new Snyder cut.
Snyder cut? Yeah, I'm not surprised. So moving on from there, so for the score.
Yep.
Initially who was going to actually score the film?
I do. Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, yeah. And he wanted to work on the project too. He really wanted to.
But he was tied into, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was 2004 that they approached him. So I'm guessing it was Pirates. He was really busy at the time.
Yeah. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
But what's interesting too is how he worked in tandem with the composers on the soundtrack. So he scored, I think it was the Hard Goodbye, which is Marv's story. And then he worked with two other composers, and those two other composers were recommended specifically by Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
they were his friends.
Yeah.
Like I can't work, but I've got these two buddies of mine that can really need some work.
And speaking, interesting, just bringing that note up about composing. So Tarantino directed the shot of the scene between Dwight and Jack in the car, right?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about director's credit in a second. But do you know the reason why Tarantino did that for Rodriguez?
I couldn't find the reason. I was
because Rodriguez scored Kill Bill Volume 2 for Tarantino for $1, and Tarantino charged him $1 to direct that scene.
These two were nuts, especially like mid 2000s.
They're like best friends. I mean,
I know. But
when you spend that long in the desert together, making it from dusk till dawn, you become best friends, or you want to murder each other. That's about it.
Kind of, I guess.
And what's also funny too about Kill Bill as an attachment to this is a lot of Miho's prop swords were the swords from Kill Bill,
especially in the 99 crazy guys.
The crazy 88s. Yeah.
Crazy 88.
Yeah.
See, I don't like the movie, so I don't care.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But so for on the director bit.
Wait. I'm trying to hinder an explosion of Tom's mind. Keep going.
So on the director bit, Tarantino was listed as a special director, right? That's fine under the rules of the Directors Guild.
Yep.
But Rodriguez was working in tandem with Frank Miller, so he wanted Miller to get directing credit on it. The Directors Guild said, no, you can't do that because you guys weren't an established team already. So he said, okay, Frank, what I want to do is I'm going to give you the directing credit. You can put me on an ADA. That's fine. I'm fine with that. And Miller said, no, you're the one who's doing literally the real directing. I'm the one who's just like showing you like, this is how my scene works.
I'm just a consultant.
Yeah. So there was no reconciliation with the guild. So Rodriguez just quit the Directors Guild so they could both get credit.
He didn't just say quit. He wrote a very scathing letter. Which would be summed up to fuck you bitches.
Yeah, pretty much.
Somewhere in that vicinity. But very corporate fuck you.
Yeah. So also tying back to due to the odd filming schedule, many actors were only on set for a day to up to like 2 days at most.
Yeah, Brittany Murphy was there for a day. She shot all of her scenes.
She shot everything in one day. But she's in every single story.
Yes.
Sheila is in every single one of the stories.
Yes.
It's great. Some odd casting stuff. Michael Madsen, so funny, was given the role of Bob. Do you know why he was given the role of Bob?
Because of Kill Bill?
Bingo bango. At a rap party for Kill Bill. At a rap party for Kill Bill Volume 2, he met Rodriguez and they got along very well. And he said, well, I really don't have any upcoming work. And Bob was the only role that was actually open for casting. So Madsen got the role.
Yep. To be fair, it was a great fit. Being the backstabbing partner of Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
They're both kind of gruff and annoying, but Madsen is the more believable one to turn on Bruce Willis.
Yeah, especially after he played Bud.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it could work out very well. You mentioned the blood. So the high white contrast was a problem to actually get right in post. So what they had to do was, so it would actually work right on film to begin with, so they didn't have to edit out too much, was use a highly fluorescent red liquid for blood shots. And it would actually queue up, so it would actually be evident not only when they didn't have to edit it to be clear white, but also make it so the editors can see, like, okay, this is what I need to edit on that shot.
Okay. I would think someone was going to be allergic to that one and got some like weird rashes, but it probably did happen, and you couldn't find an information.
And it's cool
about that.
The way that it was fluorescent. You know how they highlighted it?
You tell me.
They shone black lights on it.
Okay. So,
it's super cool. Like this is a very underground kind of way to go about getting and highlighting things for After Effects. It's like, yeah, that's very inventive. Yeah. But you mentioned Rodriguez and how particular he is.
Yes.
And he was adamant about not only editing but having final word on scoring. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Scoring the entire film. And he wanted to edit in his own studio, which is literally less than I would say a quarter mile away from his actual house.
Generally speaking, it's literally across the road.
It's the street, yeah.
But in order to get to the studio entrance, you have to go a quarter mile.
Yeah.
But I think he walked or like had a bike or something.
He would bike every day. But again, we mentioned the fact that it was really just the whole thing, how they got Miramax behind it, how this was completely made, because it was
and that's why it's $40 million. They just kept it mostly in-house and did editing there. They did daily rough edits and then just moved it up to visual.
Correct.
Which is just saved them a whole bunch of time to get all the composite shots and like slap on the VFX on them. Yeah, it helped. It speeds up the process a lot. I couldn't find it. You might tell me, or Tom, if he's still here. Was this shot on a digital Panavision camera or still on film?
Correct. No. This is great. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah, because I couldn't find any information about that.
It was fully
scarce.
It was fully digital, and Tarantino did not want to work on digital. He was actually furious with Rodriguez about making it so it was fully digital.
Yep, because you think for the shots that they did with the, even if you said that the contrasting different color, all that stuff, it's still difficult to do when you have film, have to print, have to, all that stuff, and then transfer it to digital, and then transfer it back to film. It seems like the production on this was really, really fast, even if they started with like stand-ins.
It had a very interesting turnaround.
Tom said.
Yep. Digitally. One of the funny things before we kind of get into the movie and start with a story right off the bat, but there was actually one night that Robert Rodriguez hosted a concert, and his band opened for Bruce Willis's band, the Accelerators.
Perfect.
And do you know who was there in the cast and crew?
No.
Everyone from A Scanner Darkly that was filming at the same goddamn time.
Perfection.
Want a call back? Yeah, we can do callbacks.
Perfection. Wow.
Yeah. The only other
Tom, you kill me. Tarantino's smart. Tom, if you're still here, contact Andre. Tell us if it's like good to go for next week, because it's next week. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But just tell us if Andre is cool with it, and we'll send him the link and everything.
I think I'm out of loop on that one.
Yes, he hasn't answered me.
Okay. So from there, we can start moving on to different stories. The other thing I was going to add is they tried to make a series out of it. Wouldn't work out. They wanted Johnny Depp in a couple of roles, but Johnny Depp couldn't work at the same time because...
Do you know why? Because he was up for Johnny Boy, the Benicio del Toro.
He was going to be Jackie Boy. Yeah.
Again, Pirates. He was already in like production with Pirates, and then I think he did like a small indie movie at this like in the middle of between the Pirates, I think.
Yes, and then after that he did The Tourist. He was caught into a whole bunch of like we don't talk about The Tourist.
It's okay. I have not seen The Tourist, but neither has Johnny Depp. Which is okay with me.
It's a very bad movie.
No, I've heard enough.
So from there we can move on into the film, but I think we should start with our first game of the night, as Tom is here.
Yeah,
so we can do a blitz round.
I think this time around, I think it'll be way too easy for him. There's only one landmine in there. Well, of course, I haven't set this thing up. Let me just do this. No, this is too soon. There we go. Okay. Our first game of the night. Before we start the movie, you know it, you love it. It is Missing Marking. Missing Marquee is where we take 10 posters of movies, have their text written off. We display them, and of course, you guys in the chat will have to guess which movie this is, and we will start with this. I love
it's
this
a fantastic
poster.
film.
The movie...
I like this movie a lot. No,
I know,
the poster's
I know.
fantastic.
And my wife loves this movie. I am like...
Hey, Kaladin's already beaten Tom. Tom, you're slacking, buddy.
I don't know. Tom is... I think Tom is slipping away because he's always working. Looper is correct, Kaladin.
I have to give my nemesis shit. You know this, Beth.
I know. By the way, I didn't plan on a lot of Bruce Willis stuff. It just happened to be. Fuck that movie.
and there he is. There's our champ.
There it is. It is Bandits. Not a bad movie. Not the greatest, but not a bad movie. We talked about doing a redo of this.
This
movie went
so
back and watched the episode.
Good.
It's not bad. The episode. It's not bad. It's
no,
not
I
as
think the
bad as you
episode was
think.
good. Yeah.
I didn't like the ending in Looper. It kind of killed the mood for me.
On and. I'll give it to Tom, even though we spelled it wrong and corrected himself.
This is the landmine. This might be Tom. Watched this movie. I'll admit it. I'll watch this movie, but I never knew the name of it until I downloaded the poster. It is, of course,
it's Foul Play.
Foul Play.
Yep. But well, which one?
Yes, but which one? Come on, chat. Come on. Oh, see, Tom knows this is Rocky 5.
See, I only want them to differentiate Rocky 5 is to have the Nintendo robot.
No, not Rocky. Rocky 2 has oh shit, Apollo Creed. on the thing.
We covered this just a couple of months ago.
Yes, we did.
It's a fun one.
It was a fun one.
Well, that is a very, very bad Santa, but not
a very bad Santa, but it's not bad Santa, Juliet. No. I didn't think this would be a big landmine. First of all, we have covered it.
Yeah.
And it is on the poster. Plus, I reviewed it for the channel. It didn't do so well, but all of the horror-based Santa stuff that I did in December didn't do so well.
So I wouldn't think it would have done very well. There were a lot of real sleeper ones.
Yeah. All right. This is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
Of course.
The first one. Yeah. Oh. It's a goodie.
It's not an original poster. It's like a DVD poster or something. The original poster is really nice. It's one of those like painted oil painting
Tom,
things.
hey, look, Tom got it wrong. No, the movie's name is not Seriously.
Yes, it's not Seriously.
Or that's a creepy video cover.
See, I think it's a DVD cover rather than a VHS cover. I've never seen this cover on a VHS tape before. And I have rented it.
Hey,
yes, Juliet, this is the Goonies.
There's no Chunk in there. Oh.
There's everybody in there.
Chunk wasn't in there.
I hated this movie. I hate DiCaprio movies, dude.
I didn't think this was the best one.
I know Tom loves Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I
didn't
like it, actually.
DiCaprio in there. I loved Brad Pitt and stuff in there, but I didn't like DiCaprio. It's just ruined it for me. And I definitely did not like fucking Robbie Margot. They made such a big hoopla. Margot Robbie, sorry. They made such a big hoopla, and actually, yeah, Tom, we talked about this. It's not my favorite Tarantino movie, and I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. I'm sorry. I'm gonna review it for the fucking channel, and I'm gonna get so much hate.
We have to do another month of Tarantino films that we do the ones that we did not cover.
We could.
Because there are enough that we've not covered yet.
I mean, Kill Bill's, Death Proof, Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, I can watch them again. It's just not my thing.
I got Robert Rodriguez on the brain. That's why I said Once Upon a Time in Mexico first.
Yeah. We almost have a full month because we could do Once Upon a Time in America, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Is there another Once Upon a Time in?
Well,
not a Disney movie.
Yeah. This movie is one of the worst ones, and Sanders got it. Yeah, it's Ultraviolet. Movie still. I watched it again like a couple of years ago, and I'm like, I lost the plot halfway. Like, what is this movie about again?
Is this the one where she's like a vampire too?
I think yeah, but they're also immune to the sun. There's like it doesn't.
There's something about that movie that just rubs some people the wrong way. And when I say some people, I mean all of them. All right, I'm bringing up the movie.
So, okay, to start off with, the first bit is called "The Customer Is Always Right."
Yes.
That was actually shot with Josh Hartnett and Marley Shelton. That was actually shot before Rodriguez was brought on as a director.
Wait. It starts with the Josh Hartnett?
Yeah.
Okay. So the extended cut is also a rearranging cut.
Oh, so they start with Hartigan first. Okay.
They start with Hartigan and then the Josh Hartnett short little thing.
Yeah, because they do this. Well, in the theatrical cut, it's this. Yeah, Tom's right. It's a recut. So in the theatrical, it shows the Customer Is Always Right prologue opening.
I can start with that. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Just give me a moment. It's not a big deal because I just move it forward. Oh, credits.
Yeah.
Okay,
so they showed the Customer Is Always Right at the end, and did they even show the other one with Becky, Alexis Bledell's character at the end?
Yes.
Okay. Did they cut him back?
This
that's weird.
Moves into Alexis Bledel going into like, oh, my hand was in a sling and was broken. She goes into the thing, and then Josh Hartnett is there.
Care for a cigarette. The thing, care for a smoke. But no, this was actually shot before Rodriguez was even brought on to direct, because he shot this with Hartnett and Marley Shelton to impress Frank Miller.
So this is a snippet as an example to sell the movie?
Yeah.
Interesting. Really interesting. And you know what's crazy? I know people don't like Gilmore Girls, but in the Alexis Bledel stuff, when she talks, you can definitely hear Lorelai Gilmore, the mother, on the other side of that phone. I am not fucking joking. You don't actually hear her mother.
Now, what's interesting
is if you actually it was lifted off that show for a minute and shot in black and white.
You think about it like, wow, Gilmore Girls took a real dark turn when they wrapped.
Exactly. Like, really?
Wait,
I know the girls in the chat know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know a lot about Gilmore Girls because my wife has watched the entire show front to back at least 5 times. I'm married, so I probably watched the show from front to back 5 times.
You're fine.
Oh, God.
So what happened to Josh Hartnett is interesting, Sandra, because after this, he did a film that I genuinely enjoyed. I don't know if Tom remembers it or not. A little film called Lucky Number 11, which is, it's going to be like a heist thriller kind of movie that we want to talk about when we talk about heist films at a certain point in time, because I love that movie so much.
We discussed it backstage of maybe bringing it on, just finding a good fit for it.
It's a lot of fun, but it's one of those movies that has to be in the criteria of the month, because otherwise it would make no sense. But yeah, then most recently he just did the movie that we just talked about, David Gilmour. Fair enough, Sander. That's fair. But for I just lost it there.
Josh Hartnett did a new movie. You liked it?
Yes. No, for M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay.
The most recent one that I talked to you about. No, that he was in that most recently, and he's up in a new film coming up soon that looks pretty good too. But
all right.
Anyway,
so
the prologue there. Then we have from the theatrical. They have all the shot prologues, the actual cover art shots from the graphic novel with the actors' names, and how he did that is Rodriguez did dream casting for himself.
Okay.
So for a lot of the opening title shots, he already had them done with actors' names that he wanted in the roles, and he got some of the ones that he wanted to keep.
See, that's the
fun.
power of being a director that people love to work
with. Yeah,
because they sort of understand his vibe. It's like Tarantino. People love to work with Tarantino. It's just that he gravitates to certain actors that he wants in the role. He already envisioned people in this role. So yeah. I recently reheard the story about casting Samuel L. Jackson as Cue Ball in Django. I always love that story.
It's funny. It really is.
It's really funny. I've seen that. I've seen him talk about it numerous times. It's still fucking funny. All right. So then we get the Hardigan story beginning.
Yes.
And
so this does follow the theatrical because it's after the prologue, after the titles. It's him driving.
Yes.
Day of retirement.
I was ready to say I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, he could have put that in there, but it would have been technically an ad lib to what the graphical novel is, and it wouldn't actually fit.
But it's also kind of funny too, where he's like, yeah, it's the last day on the force. Of course, it's going to be his most difficult job too. So like, yeah, Miller, I see you. Yeah. And he also does a little tie-in later where the thing with Jackie Boy and Dwight when they're driving, when he falls over, like when as Benicio del Toro, I love this. It's just like a buddy movie.
That did not escape me. To me, I think looking at this, beyond the actual what's going on with the story, which is the Rourke Jr., the son of a senator.
Sure.
He's a predator, but the police can't touch him because his dad is.
And we
a senator.
do get the introduction to Schlub and Clump, who are some of the comic relief. Which Schlub? That's Nick Offerman.
That is Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
And Clump, I didn't recognize him. I didn't look in the.
He's a bit he's a sitcom kind of comedy actor, and you could see it by his intonations. But no, that was Nick Offerman, the guy in a fishnet T-shirt. That's Nick Offerman.
There's the cast is so big. I'm looking at the cast list; it's insane. But we'll put that aside. It doesn't really matter.
We do have that just one bit with Lenny and Benny and Nancy, and kind of the setup of the conversation there, where it's clearly menacing, and you already know you're in an R-rated movie. You know what's going to happen to the kid. So
yeah, it's a sort of a predetermined situation. With it's kind of sets up the betrayal of the partner.
Yeah, because
to me it was quite telegraphed. Because
it was.
You know why? Because he went to hit Clump and Schlump, right? Schlob. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the partner wasn't with him. He went to bring in reinforcements, and I was like, oh, okay, come on, it's so obvious.
Well, no, it was also the whole thing too, where it's like, hard again, I'm not gonna let you take me down for this. I'm trying to put on Michael Madsen's affectation, which, by the way, I was a smoker then. I have never wanted to smoke a cigarette so goddamn bad in my entire life. It's the first time I watched this movie in the theaters. I was like, oh my god. Like I was 20. I was 21. Right when this movie released, I ran outside and just smoked a cigarette, and there were like 15 other people like, you need one too, right? Yeah.
So what Hartigan does, he wins, but it's a Pyrrhic victory. So he wins, but at a really, really big cost, where he's got shot all over the place, but he lives only to be accused of the same thing he saved Nancy from.
So on the recut, does this cut right to the end story then?
No, it cuts
the Yellow
to
Bastard?
the hospital.
No, does it cut from this to the Yellow Bastard then?
No. It cuts to this.
See, this is not in the theatrical cut.
I guessed as much.
No,
you know why I guessed
everything
as much?
about Elaine is not in the movie at all.
Okay, so in this entire scene, in the extended cut, it actually goes into his wife accusing him, the cops accusing him. So everybody kind of you know how like people who got shot or are in the hospital kind of go in and out of consciousness. So
yeah.
Rodriguez did sort of the same thing. It's not Kamala Harris. He goes in and out of consciousness without actually telling you he's in and out, because every time this like a scene ends, it kind of closes like you close your eyelids.
Yeah.
And then his sort of like his captain, and he said, "Look, just help me out here. We want to save you," and all that stuff.
Is right after this is because it shows the captain there. The only time you ever see the captain is when he's beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, and we got the nurse.
They never show the nurse. They never show. This is not in. None of this is actually in the theatrical cut.
And of course, getting the senator.
We have
threatening him.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they put some contacts on him in order to get that contrast. Otherwise, the actor has like dark. I think he's got like dark brown eyes.
Yeah.
Sort of like black. If you switch it up to black.
Also, his name is Powers Booth.
Yes, I know.
What a fucking Chad off rip.
But you do get an explanation about why Nancy is writing to Hartigan as Cordelia.
So okay, this is in the theatrical cut.
Okay.
So Nancy coming in to visit him, and also like how you saved me, and what I'll do is you say that I can't write to you, but I'll write to you under a pseudonym. I'll name it Cordelia after it's a detective girl in books that I like. So.
He played Haig and Nixon. I haven't watched Nixon.
It's good.
I need to watch it. Yeah.
So this is where it cuts to. This is the only time you ever see the captain. And it's weird how they recut it. So they actually recut it so all the stories they flow together. So it's not like a Tarantino film, because so how the theatrical cut is structured. They have the whole bit where Hartigan is on the dock holding Nancy, and at the end an old man dies, a young girl lives, fair trade.
Yes.
Then it cuts to Marv's story, and we don't get Hartigan in the hospital until after the end of Dwight's story with the girls from Old Town.
So the whole girl thing about Cordelia and all that stuff goes in.
You don't know until the very end, and the only thing you actually see is Powers Booth as Senator Rourke telling about how like I even paid money out of my own pocket to fix your heart, and his monologue about power, about how power is the fact that I could shoot you right now, but no one will say a word because they'll break all their lies, and it all comes down like a pack of cards.
So yeah, in the extended cut, what it did was actually rearrange it so you'll have story. So a complete story, and the only connective tissue is basically Brittany Murphy, but some of the other characters. So Nancy is in the Dwight story for a little bit. So that's really interesting.
So so the way that it's cut, and then also they have the epilogue with the customer's always right. So there's the prologue and then the epilogue with the customer's always right, the two ends of that story.
So the epilogue is with Alexis Bledel going into the thing.
The elevator, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know which one do I prefer, because I actually loved how it was structured with the extended cut, where you have a story sort of like, look, I'm not a comic book reader, but sort of like if you have a big omnibus, right, with just issue after issue after issue within the same universe, telling you a different story, but the same characters are there. It's the same world. It's, you know, it's the same. You've got Old Town in all of the different places, and we've got, you know, all of that in the same world, but it's told like, okay, it's the Hartigan and Nancy story, and then it's the Josh Hartnett like little short story, and then you got the Marv story, and then you got the Dwight story, and then it ends.
That's why I find that really interesting with the way that they cut that, and I really want to see what the impetus was behind that, because the collector's edition is actually the same as the theatrical cut. It just has more of the scenes added in.
I think means I've only seen the theatrical cut only once, because I remember watching it like this. And I didn't even think about if it was extended or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, no, it's fine. We can jump all over. I've got notes for all of it, so
we usually do kind of jump all over. So we'll do with this. So the Hartigan story is after the hospital, after Rourke, you know, tells him, "Well, I'm going to punish you," essentially. But he still gets the letters. Still get letter after letter every single week of Cordelia. And he even mentions that the fact that she is so careful about not revealing any details about who she is, where she's from, where she's writing from, all that stuff, but every single week. And then it kind of stops. And that's the stuff that kind of triggers him to like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, they also have the letter that comes in with the finger in there.
With the bloody finger, yeah.
And do you know that the first thing that I thought of when I first watched this movie, and I laughed out loud? You know,
Big Lebowski.
Bango. Well, anybody can get a toe. You want a toe? I can find you one right now. I laughed out loud, and my friend Mike looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, it's like the dude abides, and he goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Okay. You want a finger? I can get you a finger. I can get you a finger by Tuesday. Oh my God! But yes, I thought about the same thing. It's like there's no way. There's no way. And then, of course, you get a sort of a confirmation about that. As soon as he walks through the door and you see Nancy dance, she lassos the thing. So she's working with her hands, which would have tipped him off immediately. Yet he still walked into the joint.
He still kept going as well, which is like,
why are you? He never asks, "Why are you yellow?"
Well, no, he explains it.
Well, he never asks why he's yellow. He says a yellow bastard.
Well, because the story is called That Yellow Bastard.
Yes, because anyway, the whole point is he never asks why he's yellow, but it's always accompanied with the smell. The fact that he didn't pick up on the fact that he has a smell cue to see that he's close.
I would also have to just ask him too, as I'm about to just brutally beat the ever-loving shit out of him again. Like, where did you get this surgery? I mean, you smell like shit and you look like a highlighter gone wrong, but you grew your hand back and you have a cock and balls again when I clearly blew them off.
Well, he said the cock and balls were tricky. And he mentioned, well, it was tricky to get that.
See, This is a shot too. Another shot with Carlo Gugino that was not in. This is not in the
Yes,
theatrical cut.
I knew this. I knew this one was not. The fact that she drives a VW Bug to go and see him, and she's so happy. And yeah, I kind of, it's like, I don't remember this, but I probably do remember this because, like I said, I remember this version in terms of how it was organized.
I think also too the end of this story, punctuated by the end of the final cut of The Customer Is Always Right, with the salesman and Becky in the elevator, like, care for a smoke, and cut to black. That's more effective for a theatrical version. The extended cut, if you want the story is just to be more concise and built together, this makes a lot more sense. But we have also the dance, obviously the infamous dance scene.
Yeah, getting exactly that point I can try. But he sort of walks into Katie's after he went to her apartment, went into Katie's. I can't really show that. Well, I can, but
found the matchbook, which is still, you have to love the little joke on the back.
Yeah.
Liquor in the front, poker in the rear. I'm like, Frank Miller. Aw. And what's interesting too is you do see the Yellow Bastard, which is in, I should be in this cut as well. He's driving a 1937 Cadillac.
I don't know, but I like that car.
What he's actually supposed to be driving, what he's driving actually in the novel, was a Bugatti Atlantic 57C.
The thing about the movie is,
but the reason why they wouldn't actually have that in there?
I don't know.
To rent it for 4 days of shooting would have cost $232,000.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. And yeah, any scratch on it, you buy it, and that's $4 million.
$4 million, yes.
So
which is a tenth of the budget. Yeah.
I think we're good.
The whole point is you don't know exactly what year this movie is because you've got these old timey cars, but then you got the VW Bug, which again, this is the extended cut, so you might not have seen it.
Yeah, well, that, and also too how Marv comes out of the priest bit, which we're going to talk about when we get there, because the priest is a funny, interesting character. But when he walks through like modern cars,
yeah, you got the Ferrari
he drives a Mercedes
434 or something.
No, that's Schlub and Klump later.
Yeah, later on when they get to a place where they need to, hide a body, but they don't have a boot.
He says, no matter how boner inspiring this transport is, you're just like how this is trunkless. Where are we to reposit our recently deceased?
Yes. Yeah. So Hartigan understands that he made a mistake because he flagged Nancy. And you get,
which in a way I think this actually does make a little bit more sense for anyone who's watching the film for the first time. The extended cut does, because Marv and Dwight are still there and they're at the bar, they're at Katie's there, so chronologically it makes sense.
Yeah, and also Dwight has a snippet. It's not even a scene, it's sort of a one take of him thinking about stuff from the bar, like stuff that has nothing to do with this story. It has a lot to do with the story later on.
So the one where he's not thinking
about
Marv?
the waitress. No, he's talking about Brittany Murphy's character.
Okay, so that's in the extended. That's not in the theatrical.
Yeah. I know. So they get chased. He gets a one shot, almost one kill kind of a deal.
Like right, the next, and he's just spurting blood. Where like he's gonna bleed out.
Yeah, but then when they're in the car, it's like I can still smell him around. It's like, oh, okay.
Why would you just check in the back seat?
They never check in the back seat.
This isn't like in Road to Perdition, where there was a little secret hatch where he hid.
So he gets the drop on him during the shower, obviously.
Yeah, they have that. They do have that one bit. Oh, the
Don't
one thing
eat
that's
yellow snow.
yes, the one thing is interesting is now it actually does make a little bit more sense too, because you get to see this first here and then later. The license plate on Nancy's car and also the license plate on it's Wendy's car. They have the same LEV 311 license plate.
Yeah, which I didn't understand the significance of it though.
That's a direct tie-in to Frank Miller's wife.
Okay.
Her initials and her birthday.
Okay. And to be fair, well, not to be fair, the whole point with this is he's chasing him off to the Rourke farm, which comes up later on in Marv's story as well. Which is odd.
The farm,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, the farm. The
It's
Rourke
agrarian
farm.
in nature. The farm.
Yeah. And so many atrocities happen in that farm is
yeah,
insane. And
well, that also he has one of the typical kind of Frank Miller lines before they're in the motel room. When it comes to calming down a 19-year-old trauma victim, I'm as expert as a palsy victim performing brain surgery with a pipe wrench. Like, that's a Frank Miller line.
I love this shot. It looks the color contrast looks so good.
Yeah.
It's how did they do it? It's like just in post. Because they made the white bandages look extremely white. I think you can do it with fluorescent coloring on the actual bandage.
Yes.
But the coloring on the man, what did they do later on in post? Because he's been in a lot of shots that are like this, where he's holding Nancy close using his arm before he takes out the knife. This is after kind of Hartigan busts in through the door. We can show this, I guess. It's just
so
yellow
okay.
coloring.
We talked about some scenes that had to be cut. So first, I want to roll back just because it has one of the lines that still make me laugh out loud whenever I hear it. When Clump walks in and sees that John Hartigan is not a corpse hanging from the rafters, he says a line that still, I don't know why, it makes me laugh every time.
Okay.
I can only express puzzlement that borders on alarm. And then Schlump gets knocked out. But so this,
I got it for you.
Yeah.
I got it for you.
I love it. But so what had to be cut out, and I think this is cut out in the theatrical version as well. Sorry, the extended cut, is Nancy endured a lot more torture at the hands of that yellow bastard.
He whipped her.
Yeah, the whipping was shown and everything, and how he goaded her, and then he pulled out the knife, but never did.
Yeah, because there's no real blood in the whipping, not even white blood.
Yeah, it's a lot worse in the novel, and they had to cut it out because Rodriguez even said it was too much, even for Sin City.
And I don't think Jessica Alba would have gone there, to be fair.
I don't think so either. No.
Jessica Alba is a very sexy lady, but she kept her entire body from leaking to the media, in film, TV, everything, which is commendable. I get it. It's your body. You do it with what you would want. It made me think about what would like Hollywood actresses would do for a role, and I don't think Jessica Alba went that far.
I don't think
that's why
she ever
she's
did.
not in a lot of things. Take it or leave it. I mean,
doesn't she have like a line of
like
great
actress?
products?
Really? Sorry?
Not really. No. But did she also have a line of like cleaning products and beauty products and stuff that's selling like gangbusters? I think?
Maybe when she figured out that Hollywood is not where she's gonna make the big bucks,
unless she show stuff. So hey, she has her integrity, and that's that she's sticking to what she decides. And also, any lady who wants to show her stuff and has no problem with it, cool, rock and roll, not a big deal.
Look, I'm not a prude. I don't care. It's, you know, if you want to show it, I'll watch it. It's fine. All I'm saying is Jessica Alba is one of those ladies in Hollywood that are technically not really in Hollywood right now, because at some point one either producer or director or whatever told her, look, it's nudity or nothing. I mean, show me your tits, basically, or leave. And she chose the door, which is commendable. I get it. Like her entire backside, it's a whole other ball game than her front side. Sander.
You're going to make me laugh out loud and I have to say it. It's a whole other ball game than her hole.
Yeah, look.
Oh, look, we're gonna get past it. I'm just making a joke.
I'm just saying, Jessica Alba is not the greatest actress in the world,
no.
But a lot of actresses aren't until they get the role where it comes off, like it comes out of them. Let's face it. Let's be real. However, she brought to this role to be a sexy lady. She nailed it, and she kept her integrity. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. You can love it or hate it. But this is one of those stories.
And well, the end here too is the deception that Hartigan gives to Nancy, saying, well, yeah, well, I'm going to have the cavalry come in just as before, you know, as Bob would say. It's not going to happen. Is it like, yeah, maybe, yeah, I'll get Senator Rourke arrested. Yeah, like any DA is ever going to touch that. And maybe from an ex-miracle, I'll go punch out God. You know, like, not going to happen.
He kind of like, he told her one thing and he told us the truth, which is, yeah. It's like, yeah. And you know, I'm going to sprung out wings and start flying. Which I love it when the entire story kind of finishes with him saying, well, it's an old man for a young woman, no. Where instead at the beginning he said it's an old man life for a young child.
No, it's the same thing. Like he repeats the same line that he said at the beginning. Well, in the theatrical version, that's why it's more poignant in the theatrical version than it is in the extended cut, because we get to see him say it at nearly the tail end of the film, and also at the one of the beginning vignettes of the entire movie. Like an old man dies, a young girl lives. Fair trade, and then he offs himself, which I can't show. And he does in it with "I love you, Nancy." That was the last.
Yes. Yeah. And I love the fact that you basically see because the extended cut is actually built as a story, then story, then story. Each story ends with credits.
Yeah.
Where in the theatrical cut, he must have gone through the whole thing and then
they cut to different. No, they cut to different stories and then they have full credits at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
I find that's interesting. I'm gonna have to rewatch the extended cut because I haven't watched it in a long time.
I really love the way that they ordered it in this specific way.
But so we do have the cut to.
I've seen Kaliki, Oki, and Griffin walk through the door. Don't worry, we're just within the movie. I've seen you guys. Thank you for joining us.
And now we cut to the hard goodbye, which is Marv's chef's kiss send off.
Yeah, it's my favorite story, to be honest.
And really, this was the role that they don't even have like a title card for it at all.
They do. I just whiz by
it. Have it in the extended. They don't have it in the theatrical. There's no title cards at all.
Yeah. So I think they did a much better job on it's a real reworking of the order of the movie. So in the theatrical is It's like completely non-linear. We're jumping from
that,
this
and it's
to
flowing
this
into
to this.
stories like a Tarantino film would, where like if you think of Pulp Fiction, the very end, what's the last scene of Pulp Fiction? The diner scene when one of them's already dead.
Yeah, well, I can't show that.
So.
Well,
we have the scene with Goldie and
Marv.
Marv.
I want to get to you. You've seen the moment I wanted to see this.
Yes, Elijah Wood as Kevin.
This is one of the greatest roles that the Elijah Wood has ever done, and he is not talking, and he probably did all of his scenes in the one day or maybe two.
Yeah. Which, you know what, I think this, and have you ever seen the show Wilfred?
I have not.
He is fantastic in that show. It's about a man who basically sees an imaginary dog, and he's slowly losing his mind. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's Frodo. It's Frodo.
All I'm saying is, if the hobbits had Kevin's skills, we would not need to worry about anything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, just send the whole fucking Shire up to fucking Mordor. It's not a big deal. They're gonna kill them all.
Yeah, just he doesn't even need Sam or anybody. He just walk, and you'll get there. Man, it's
it actually would have been better if Gollum. That's what Gollum turned into Kevin. The transformation of him into the character into Gollum. That's what made him the killer. That it was Kevin. So we have basically the entire
Marv.
setup of
Marv is literally the personification of like the Hulk.
Yeah. And what's interesting is one of those is one of the cops. I don't know which one of the SWAT cops is, but I know that one of them actually is Robert Rodriguez.
Maybe in the hallway.
I think it's in the hallway, or it's in the scene where they're going up the stairs to Cardinal Rourke to find him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love the shots where he's flying in the air, and then the car lands in the water.
But also, you have to realize that he's superhuman because he's holding his breath for at least 4 to 5 minutes underwater.
Yeah. It's the only thing that is close to like a superhero type individual. Not really a superhero, more like a mutant. That's why I said the Hulk. Because it seems like, man, dude, Kevin hit him with a
sledgehammer across the face.
20-pound hammer in his face.
There's actually a count. He takes like 37 injuries that would have concussed a normal human being to his dome, and he's just like, I got knocked out once.
Yeah, and after he kind of has that escape from the cops, because he slept with Goldie, and then Kevin killed her to frame Marv, and then Marv kind of wakes up. He understands. Like, I have a big headache, but this chick is dead.
I'm cold feeling in my stomach. Like, this is somebody paid good for this setup because this is a frame job. And he goes to Lucille, his parole officer,
but also her girlfriend is his psychiatrist from time to time.
No, he said like, no, she tried to analyze me once, but she stopped because she got too scared.
Yeah. If I don't get my pills, I'm a little bit,
And this what's funny is there's the rambling bit with where Marv goes, no, this is there's no square in this. This is like the battle days. This is the all or nothing days. This isn't some crazy guy with a gas can with winos. That's another actual Sin City story called A Crazy Saturday Night, where Marv beats the ever-loving shit out of some very, very wealthy, well-to-do people that get drunk. They drive around, they find winos, they pour gasoline on them and set them on fire.
Oh, so it's a heartfelt story.
Yes. So another crazy Saturday night. Yeah.
So the thing is, after he goes to Lucille, he goes to his mother's place.
Now this is not in theatrical.
I thought as much.
No.
So in the extended cut, he goes to his mother, and what he says about his mother is, she always keeps my room tidy as if I was just there last night. So that means his mother is A, delusional, B, loves her son.
Yep.
And C, he loves his mother. And that's why when she gets threatened, that's why he goes completely apeshit.
This would have actually added more context if they kept that scene in. This is the scene that they should have kept in, because later when the DA says like the squirm DA comes in and says, if I don't sign the confession, they'll kill my mom.
Exactly. And that's why I broke his arm in 3 places.
3 places. So like see, without that context for people who haven't read the novel or seen the extended cut, it'd be like, well, why does Marv care? Marv's this fucking, like, he's a good guy. Deep down, he's a good guy. But overall, still kind of a piece of shit.
I don't remember who says it, but I think maybe Dwight says it about Marv. It's like, in the olden times, he would have been the guy with the battle axe.
That's coming up. It's one of the best little soliloquies that are in this. We have Marv going to the bouncer at Katie's, and the guy going, your coat looks like Baghdad. So does your face. Piss off.
But of course, he's like,
look, the waitress is like, he doesn't know Marv.
Yeah. He almost ripped his eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it goes, of course, to the one that you talk to. Oh, this is where you get the Dwight scene, to be honest.
Yeah, so this is where Dwight's talking about Marv. They thinks he's this animal who's like, no, he just said the unfortunate set of circumstances, we were born in the wrong century. He'd be right at home swinging a battle axe in somebody's face or fighting gladiators in an arena that are also swinging swords at him. Like, they would have thrown girls like Nancy to him.
But then, of course, a couple of goons kind of take him out back. But
the Hitman, like, I love Hitman. No matter what you do to him, you never feel bad. He's like, and I was like, that's a. I don't know how many times did he say, like, that's a damn fine coat you're wearing.
Yes, about 4 times.
Because this would be like, you take it off. He's like, well, it's a damn fine coat. You're bleeding all over it.
Yeah. And to me I don't know if Robert Rodriguez was your clothes, give them to me kind of a thing. I don't know. Sort of a Terminator thing.
No, it is actually more of a
thing
where, no, that's the whole thing with actually in the novel.
It's in the novel?
No, he loves leather overcoats. So like, he's like, oh, well, find a new one.
Because I don't have any frame of reference, but I know it's pretty close, like almost shot for shot. So I didn't know, but it kind of reminded me of Terminator. Maybe it's just me.
A little bit.
But then, of course, we get introduced to Wendy, where I love the fact that Marv doesn't realize that she's a twin. And even after he understands that she's a twin of Goldie, he sometimes calls her Goldie, and he said, "No, I'm sorry, Wendy. If I don't get my pills, I'm a bit hazy. My mind kind of floats, and I don't do it on purpose." After he does it a couple of times, she's like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it."
No, that's the very end where.
No. At the end, she's like, "Call me Goldie."
No, it's fine. You can call me Goldie.
Yes. See, I'm saying it happens a few times, and she's really offended the first time, but then she kind of gets where he's coming from. She understands he really loves Goldie. She's not a trick for him. He didn't care about her hooking.
Well, no, he didn't even know. Well, the whole thing was well, again, for a guy like Marv, where when he talks to the prostitutes at Old Town, where it's like, do you even think, like, look at my mug? Do you think I could get close enough to anyone to kill you?
Yeah.
But so we have him leaving Katie's, and then just the setup of him going up the ladder. I don't know how the extended cut goes, but I love the one scene where he has the one guy literally like by the collar, so that like, he's dragging his face on the road, going,
"Oh yeah,
I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball."
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't remember if it's before the confession. Well,
it's before the confessional.
It's before the confessional. Okay.
Yes.
I love the fact that he goes into the confessional and it's like, yeah, it's like I'm going my way up the food chain.
Do you know who the priest is?
No.
That's Frank Miller.
That's Frank Miller?
That's Frank Miller. Yep.
Doesn't he have a beard?
Well, he does at times, but he didn't then.
I guess.
That's Frank Miller. Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool. He gets executed by his own creation.
Yeah. Worth killing.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
This is just... You know what? What's crazy? This is a panel. This is not something that could happen in a movie. Well, technically it can. Anything can be in a movie. But it's much more effective as a panel. In you can see the word bubbles from Marv.
No, because you can see it like pan up on the upper right where there's actually a clear black spacing where it would be like clearly
here,
right there. Yeah,
For
exactly.
the word bubbles.
Yeah.
Even here, you got like one sentence and then the other sentence is right there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like the few things that I know from comic books is like, yes, there is like fantastic art in some of these books, but some of it is like trumped with word bubbles. And some of it is like, okay, we've left you room here. Use this spot because it's not, it's not overly painted. We're not going to go crazy here. So we can block out this portion. Yeah. But I love this shot. It's a great shot, even for a movie. But you kind of you can tell in certain places, like with Elijah Wood with the glasses. I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen the book, I haven't read the book. I'm pretty sure that is a shot for shot.
That's a shot for shot.
Yeah. So you do get a full-on reimagining in a movie, a comic book within a movie, which was important to technically for Rodriguez, but also kind of to Frank Miller. I think he got what Rodriguez was going for, and he just went with it because, it's his creation. And hey, James, what have you missed? Stick with us. It's fun, and you can replay later. Whatever you missed.
We're also talking about there's a lot of differences between the version that Meph watched and the theatrical version. So we're kind of splicing that up a little bit.
Kind of. So
so getting to the farm. Yeah.
He gets to the farm. And this is, if you watch the extended, it kind of is weird because Hartigan kind of ends with the farm. Marv doesn't really end with the farm, but he gets to the farm. And it's the also same one.
But what's great too is the fact that the story, how it's being told, Kevin, because in the theatrical version, Kevin's already dead, but in the theatrical, if you look at it from our version, it's a little bit different. So for case in point, for that yellow bastard, the end of the film, the theatrical version is ending with that, but we show Hartigan sneaking on the farm and Kevin's reading the Bible outside. It's like, wait, isn't Kevin already dead? Because the story happened beforehand.
Because it's mixed and matched.
Yeah.
Tarantino style.
Yeah.
See, this is why it affirms the fact that, I love stuff that is sort of composite and moved around, but it kind of works for me like this, where it's like, okay, I finished
I think that's very
issue.
fair too.
I'm going to move to the next issue and then to the next issue.
And also too, the way that you mentioned the fact that the extended cut actually has clear fucking opening titles of giving the actual name of the story.
The name of the book.
Yeah.
Essentially. Or the story.
The story, yeah, in the book, yeah. But so we have Kevin just knocking him out, and he wakes up, and there's Lucille, just
armless Lucille.
No, she's just only missing a hand and not a full arm.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Potato. Are we going for the breastplate issue again? Never mind. It's a
To bring that up again, huh?
bringing that up again. This is just genius. This is, to me, this is like, okay, this is Frank Miller, right? This is Frank Miller. It's just shot.
That is a panel.
That is shot in a way where it's definitely done with primo CGI.
That
I'm pretty
the
sure
highlighting of the tattoo to make the colors pop. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't 5 chicks in a wall. But okay. But if you really wanted to do it with not CGI-ish, you could find a way, I guess.
And I will say, for all of Marv's very, very chivalrous behavior, some of his lines are a little bit odd.
A little bit.
James, I swear, you just let them cry out a bucket and they'll be fine. Isn't that right, Finn?
I want to get to something really important. I said earlier about the cars kind of giving away the fact that you don't know what time it is in the book. Now, to your knowledge, is there a time in the book, or it's just stories?
Like actual, like declination of actual time.
1981.
There's no real reference to timelines.
Okay, so from what Marv is talking about, it seems like he's living in the 1930s. He calls women broads, or no, not broads, but dames.
Well, but also if you look at most of it too, the car styling too is reticent anywhere between the 1930s and the 1950s. It's somewhere.
Yeah, but you've got the Ferrari in there, and then you got a more modern cars. It's all over the place.
Well, the Ferrari is the one that's out there, but the older Jaguar that Ethan Jr. was driving at the very beginning.
But the cop cars are 50s. They have the 50s fins.
I know. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they're 50s Buicks. So
yeah,
it's.
I mean, yeah, it's all over the place.
That's why a lot of people refer to this film as a neo-noir, because it's not technically a noir film, but it is the same time. It has that like good pulpy feel to it, but it's not exactly a noir film.
Yeah. So
we do have the whole bit where Marv escapes and
he goes to the Cardinal.
I will say he
goes to his statue technically.
No, there was the one bad thing. I feel bad about Lucille, because Lucille tried to knock him out and be like, listen, no, I have him over here. It's fine. And it's like, also, hey, dummy, you should realize by now you're part of the corrections, which is part of the police force. If they got you and they let him eat your hand, and eventually he was going to eat the rest of you, why? Why?
Yeah. It kind of is foreshadowed, but
and he did have that moment too, where he kills the SWAT leader there, and he goes, "That is a damn fine coat you're wearing."
Yeah. I wanted to get to that moment, but you know what? We'll put it here. It's right before he shoots that statue.
Yeah.
But
it was a confirmation where it was supposed to be Cardinal Rourke, but then he has his own mental breakdown here. And this is a Hitchcock shot.
Yes, with the eyes lit.
Yeah.
I love shots like this. Absolutely love it.
And apparently him questioning his own, like maybe I have completely lost. Maybe I am going through a stage of psychosis. I haven't had my pills in how long? And
to me, the shot itself, because it's all about, if you know how to light this, you know how to do filmmaking at not the highest level, but a high level.
High level. Yes.
Because a director needs to have the lighting guy know how to do this shot.
But you know what's great about that, though? This is a panel.
See, it works.
It's so fun. And also, too, I know. Well, they had to put a lot of makeup on Mickey Rourke, obviously, to make him look like Marv. But if you look at his eyes there, doesn't he look a little bit like Brando? Just a little bit like a young Brando.
That's a stretch.
A little bit.
I stretched it. Now you're stretching it.
Yeah. So we have basically Wendy shooting him, and then they're interrogating him.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it here, I guess. It's not the best.
He even says, well, I haven't had anything to eat, and I haven't had my pills in days. So obviously, like Goldie, you're dead. I'm just like, I'm Wendy.
He kind of figures it out. I love the fact that at a certain point where the hookers relax, he gets up from the chair without his bonds. And they were like, you could have done this the whole time?
Yeah, he goes like, well, I wanted you to give a chance to calm down. Besides, I don't hurt girls.
I don't hurt girls. All right. I want to move forward because we've got about half an hour left, and we need to cover the whole Dwight story.
And a game, yeah. Well, so we have then the whole the setup where we get to see Wendy in the car, and she basically unravels the entire puzzle. But yeah, well, it makes sense. Goldie worked the clergy. And even Marv says she dropped a big old whopper of a puzzle piece in my lap then.
Yeah, and of course, this reveal where
the fight,
where he's like, I need tubes, I need this, I need a saw, and they're like, what the hell is he gonna do? Oh shit! He just wanted to keep him alive.
Yeah,
for the wolf to eat him.
Yeah, because he was eating human meat. So,
so
he goes, well, I have to say, I'm getting bushed. And it wasn't that fight we had. It was all that sawing and tying. I did let a spurt or two get in the air to call your friend. You go, nice pooch. And he kept smiling at me.
Now, you've mentioned Brando. This entire scene with Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer looked like Apocalypse Now Brando.
Yeah, he did. Especially that line too, the way that he's like, it filled him with white light. And I love Marv's condemnation going like, I know it's pretty damn weird to eat people.
Yes. And I was like, so you've come here to kill me. It was very close. But he didn't say it.
This is like, what are you? Are you a grocer's collect the bill?
He literally, as soon as he puts out Kevin's head, is like, I joined him with the eating, with the feasting.
No, he said that.
Oh, you are mega corrupt.
You're dead. So I was like, to kill this helpless old fart, will that bring you satisfaction, my son? The killing? No. Everything up to the killing, though, that'll be a gas. And it's clear that he tortured the ever-loving shit. And he said after he goes like, you can go ahead and scream now.
Yeah. And the prize, because he got caught, because the cops literally showed up as soon as he killed him.
And then they lit him up immediately.
Oh,
and he wakes up
they lit him up.
He wakes up at the hospital like, fuck.
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's sort of the same reaction that Hartigan got, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to die. Oh, shit, I'm alive. But we'll put that aside. So Wendy comes in. He calls her Goldie. And it's like, it's okay. You can call me Goldie.
And we talked about the fact that he signed the confession only because they're going to threaten to kill his mom.
Yeah, and he breaks the ADA's hand in 3 places. And he gets the chair.
The electric chair. And what's so funny about that, too, is when he gets electrocuted, he wakes up and goes, there you got, you pansies.
Yeah.
And the line he says before that, as the priest is reading him his last words, can we hurry this up? I ain't got all night.
Yeah. Obviously. And it flows out to Dwight's story, which we have about a half an hour to cover. So
real quick, just want to say real fast some funny side stuff
Yes.
about that. Benicio del Toro originally was not supposed to have any makeup.
Yes.
At all.
Yes.
At all. But Tarantino thought it would be a good idea, and Tarantino said, if you have people watch that today, they don't even know it's Benicio until they see the credits.
And I think Benicio liked it. Benicio is so weird. He's so
Benicio.
creepy.
Well, several years after he did Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing. Yeah.
He was all for really out there roles.
All right, we'll play a very short Screen Fighter. Okay.
Round 1, fight.
Screen Fighter was where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good or both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. Two movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in? I needed some air. As Good as It Gets or Underworld. This is totally random, and I didn't spend a single minute trying to look for a good pairing. Yeah. Chat participation is most welcome. Just tell me the movie you like. All my feelings, go ahead. Begin.
Okay. Underworld, better soundtrack. Up until last year, it would have been Underworld. But now, since we re-reviewed As Good as It Gets for your birthday last year, it's as good as it gets. I really like that movie now. I really do.
As Good as It Gets is in my top 20. Underworld is not in my top 200. We're going to do a little bit of a faster run here.
Oh, wow.
I have not seen 1917, and you told me to watch it, and I think I told you that I really have a hard time to watch World War I films as opposed to World War II films.
It's very good, but it's also another one of those one and done that we always talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, I will keep it on. Even if I've not seen it, I will definitely choose to see a World War I movie than to see Marky Mark in Planet of the Apes.
The Apes, yeah.
That is done and dusted, and I'm not even asking your opinion.
Well, you're fair.
I've not seen Clear History. I have seen Duck Soup, though.
Okay.
Griffin is like, 1917, no question.
Yeah.
Move on. Moneyball or Duck Soup?
One of the great foundations of modern comedy, but no, I think Moneyball's a fucking great movie, and we're going to talk about it in a couple of months. That's a great fucking movie.
We will. The chat says unequivocally Duck Soup. Oh no, we've got some Moneyball. We've got some Moneyball. Okay. It's really hard to compare the two. They're both really great. It's, I think, if not the best Marx Brothers movie.
Definitely, yeah.
One of the two. The other one is the one with the circus. Or is this one the one with the circus? I don't remember. Please forgive me. I think there's another one with the circus. This one is better, in my opinion. If there's two of them, I would watch Moneyball. Not necessarily a better movie. I think a better time. I don't know. Duck Soup, I really have to be in the mood. Moneyball, I can throw on and just watch. That's
Paul's
my
like
pick.
5 moves behind now.
Oh, well. Sorry, Paul. Old school?
Oh, fuck
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we'll end with this because we have the entire Dwight story to
We're
cover.
going to fight today.
Okay. Old School or Galaxy Quest?
I will just say that is probably the most perfect Japanese-esque poster I have ever fucking seen for a film ever. I love that poster. Old School, though.
Yes.
Old School just has my heart.
It's like 80s TV show in Japanese.
It's actually like Japanese game show.
Yes.
Poster. That's what it is.
Yes. Which movie though?
Told you, Old School. Like I have way too much history with Old School. You know this.
We're going streaking.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
Guys, if you like old school, we are going to cover this very, very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. But it's no question Galaxy Quest, because it is, in my opinion, the best 7th Star Trek movie.
Hey, we have 2 for 2, so we're at a toss up right now.
Chat is like Galaxy Quest, 2 great movies. Yes, I know they're 2 great movies. Old school.
They said we're at a toss up. We're at a tie. Paul's like they both suck. Well, God damn it, Mod, help us.
Like, I get it if you say old school sucks, but why Galaxy Quest though? I'll click on old school even though I disagree. We'll end with that. No. By the way, Beastmaster, even though it's a crappy movie.
Beastmaster's fucking great, dude. It's one of those 80s like adventure films that we talked about just a couple of weeks ago.
It's a sword and sorcery kind of movie.
They're so much fun. We're like, when you were 10 or 11 years old, be like, so I'm gonna spend the next day rewatching this movie on VHS like 5 times because it's awesome.
Yeah, 5 times. That is my afternoon, and yes, it's going to be on a repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the ferrets were they're so cute.
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the Dwight story.
Yes.
Like I said, we're kind of following the extended cut.
So this is with the extended cut. That is, it's going to be under the title "The Big Fat Kill," right?
Yes.
It should be.
Wait, Troublemaker Studios. Hold on.
Because if they follow the Sin City, it should be the Big Fat Kill. Yeah, Big Fat Kill. Yeah. Yep, it is. Yep.
And of course, we get introduced to the whole dynamic between Cecile? No, the Brittany Murphy character, Sheila
and Dwight.
Lucille is the other one.
This preface is not in the opener at all. So for the theatrical cut just has her at the door with Jackie Boy banging on the door. Like you can bang all you want all night, man. I'm not letting you in. You don't even see Dwight for a little while.
Oh yeah. Even in the extended cut, it doesn't start with Dwight in the room.
Yeah.
It starts with them having that conversation on the door.
Okay.
And then she comes closer to the door, but she doesn't want to be
looking
too
at
close.
you're scanning below because I can see where you're scanning. I'm trying to catch up where the extended is different. So
talk to me. Don't look down below. Okay. I told you. Don't look at the production stuff.
So we basically just have Sheila just egging him on and giving a whole bunch of shit, which is so interesting is because there is a scene actually in the theatrical DVD cut and Blu-ray cut that was actually in the theater version of the movie, but was cut out of the DVD and Blu-ray version, which was Jackie hitting Sheila.
It's in the extended cut.
So it's in the extended, but it was also shown in theaters, but it wasn't in the DVD or Blu-ray, which is weird. Yeah.
Interesting.
Fun side note, that little peace sign that his boy has with the flag,
yes,
Becky also has it on her ear. It's a Liberation Front bit. That's another story by Frank Miller.
Oh, you said Liberation Front, and I was like,
yeah,
Liberation Front?
Yeah, no, it's a different kind. It's in Frank Miller's story. It's a tie into his own.
Is it the Liberation Front of Judea?
No,
just joking.
Stop it.
So Dwight surprises Jackie Boy in the bathroom, and he feeds him to his own urine.
She's like, "No, you already made a mistake. What's that? You didn't flush."
Yeah, it didn't flush.
And nearly drowns him in his own piss, which would be a hell of a way to go.
Not my favorite way to go, but yes.
And
unlike
have it in the extended cut when he vomits, it's clearly like they made the vomit yellow. It's like that's a nice touch.
if it was Benicio, he would probably say, "Yeah, I'm just gonna piss and drink it and then vomit it out." If it's
But
okay
it's like,
with you.
Benicio, you don't have to do that. I'm like, but I'm in character.
Yes. We could give you like apple juice. No. I will piss my own piss.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So the thing is, Dwight is still there, and
we
he
do
wants
have
to.
the
he
call
wants to
back
follow
here.
So
Sorry, just want to interject here real quick. The story about Dwight is the reason why he even mentions the fact that like I have to be a little bit careful even though I'm speeding is because like I'm a murderer with a new face. That's a tie into A Dame to Kill For, which was
the Marv story. Yeah.
Which is which is a Marv story that Dwight was the main character in, was a prequel to this. That's how Dwight knew Marv before he got his facial reconstructive surgery to look like somebody else.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's not a story in the movie. It's a story from like the Frank
the Sin City
novel.
universe.
Yeah,
That's why like Minute, Michael Clark Duncan's character, he had his eye then. Marv is the one who popped out his eye. That's why he has the gold one.
Oh, okay.
And he did that in A Dame to Kill For. Yeah.
Okay. And the Dame to Kill For is probably Rosario Dawson's character? Guess I haven't read the book.
No.
Really?
She's not in this at all. No. You'd have to see the sequel to Sin City to see that story.
No.
James got it. Yeah, they used it for that's the premise of pretty much the majority of the second film, which is actually called A Dame to Kill For.
I love it. This is a panel for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a panel for sure. But the thing with Dwight is he was waiting for Jackie Boy to leave in order to follow him. That's it, where he's in the car and I want to stay low, but he's driving real fast, so the cops come in. But then he realized the cops are not after him, they're after Jackie Boy.
No. They're following him. But the thing is, also you're driving a convertible that's cherry apple red, speeding.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen? And also the thing is, and then Jackie Boy did me the most immense favor because he's so drunk he's hanging out the window and he swerves.
But he said he made a mistake for going to Old Town because he's not gonna get a piece of ass like being drunk like that. Because he explains how Old Town works.
Yeah.
Without actually telling us, and then of course Jackie Boy goes after Alexis Bledell's character in this alley. And he's like, you don't understand.
Becky just giving him the utmost shit because she knows that Miho is up there watching. Where it's like,
yes,
you fuck up, you dead.
Yeah, you dead. And which technically that's what happens. He fucks up, right?
Because he pulls a gun on her. Yeah. Where it's like, you know, well, there's like, no, that's the Alamo, not the Amigo. That's a bad F word joint. And we have Marv meeting up with Gail. That's Rosario Dawson's character, and they have the backstory about her being his Valkyrie. That's another Sin City story that's not included in this. Wasn't even in Dame to Kill For. But we have the entire setup of basically them making the mistake and even Dwight having that intuition where like, why does it feel like something's wrong? And it was Sheila as he dove out, but the helicopter was overhead, drowned out the noise. He's a cop.
He's a cop, and he heard stop.
Yeah. And that whole bit too, when he falls back and falls on the shuriken, and it is when he stands up and his ass going, "Don't nobody laugh. This isn't funny."
Yeah. The swastika shuriken, it was a choice.
And it's actually not a swastika.
It's not a swastika. It's actually a lucky Indian
It's a Tibetan sign, but yeah, that's
it's, by the way, it's the other way around.
Round.
It's not it's not going this way. It's going the other way.
Other way, yeah.
The correct way, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I love it because later on, one of Michael Clark Duncan's guys has an actual swastika on his.
That's Schultz. We're gonna get to Schultz's comedy relief in a minute, which is really funny.
I did love it. I loved it the first time I saw it, and the second and the fourth.
But with the like, she blocked the barrel, so the gun it basically backfired, and
which not necessarily happens, but
it would kind of more explode in your hand. Not actually send it flying into your skull. But it's a great image. But then he's like, hey, why don't just stop playing with him? He's like, she doesn't so much kill him as make a Pez dispenser out of him.
Yes,
which is,
I love that line so much.
Line. It's a great line. Like, she didn't really quite decapitate him.
Yeah, so he's I know it's a big stretch. He is nearly headless Nick from Harry Potter. So he's not completely headless.
Oh, yeah.
He's nearly headless.
That's a fair one. Yeah, no, that's a fair comparison.
I wanted to move on. Yes. So the whole point is all the, like, Rosario Dawson's character, his Valkyrie, and everybody else is like, we know what is the chain of events that is going to happen.
Yeah, because he finds it like it's going to be the battle days. The cops are going to protect us. The mobs are going to come back in. The pimps are going to come back in. The beatings are going to come back in, and it's going to be the battle days all over again.
Yes. So
Gail's like, okay, let's prep for war, and Dwight's like, no, give me a hardtop fast with enough trunk space. Take out the pits. They're not looking for him yet. And I love the bit was like, get that gun out of my face or I'm going to slap you.
Yeah. And then, of course, they can't fit them all in the car. So, Mijo, can you just help me out?
Hey, Mijo, even Gay goes, yeesh.
Yeesh. Which comes up later because the Irish mercenaries, I think it's the girl that comes in.
She sees the bodies and goes, yeesh.
Yeah. Which, the appropriate. I thought it was the proper reaction to a bunch of cut up bodies. But yeah.
Yeah. So then we get Tarantino's scene with Jackie and Dwight driving, which is fucking fantastic because it has a line that is absolutely true. Because just at PreachCon, buddy. Had enough, too much, and sometimes you spend a little too much money at a bar. You're like, yep. Smoker's a smoker when the chips are down, and your chips are down.
And to me, I always thought about it like this: he got cigarettes from Jackie.
Yeah,
I thought they don't say it. I thought the cigarettes were already laced with something.
Oh,
that's why he imagined him coming to life. But like Dwight is aware that he is not really talking to an alive.
Yeah, because he said when the cop pulls up, because I don't need to tell him. When he says, sure he's an asshole. Sure, he's dead. That doesn't stop the bastard from being absolutely right. And the cop pulls him over. And so he's like, you better stop. You're making him mad. And he stops on the brakes, forcing the rest of the barrel into his skull. So it just looks like he's passed out. Like,
yeah.
I'm the designated driver.
Yeah, this one. This is just, oh man, he's so wasted. I'm the designated driver. And the guy looks at him and is like, I'm going to let you off with a warning. I do love the contrast when he flashes the light in his face.
Where you see the coloration?
Original coloring.
Yeah, it's great.
I love that. It's so good. It's a neat little cinematic, art direction kind of a choice to make. And I love it. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Maybe the light fucked up the CG. It's because the black and white is CGI made.
No,
just
it
put
actually
on a
no.
filter.
It's on purpose because the panel has actual coloration on his face.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
this is a panel too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. Absolutely love it. I didn't understand why he was trying to push the car uphill to the pits instead of pushing it down into the pits. But it is what it is.
I don't know. It's like your grandma said, why the hell did you try to, like, I went to school, I had to travel 5 miles in snow uphill. Well, maybe you should have went to a different school.
And I don't know if they done it in the book, but he gets shot once, he falls, and then it cuts to Michael Clark Duncan's
Yeah, it
character.
does. So it cuts to Minute getting Gale.
Yes.
Yeah, which is like you love the entire setup too, because the way that it's shot, they have with Dwight with the open eyes, so it looks like, oh yeah, he's dead. But then the later the reveal, it was actually like, oh, it's the Teddy Roosevelt speech bit. The bullet got stopped by Jackie's badge.
Yeah, by Jackie's badge. And it kind of transitions when Gale is like, yeah, he'll find a way.
Yeah. Well, and it's also too where Minute knows that Gale is the head of all of the prostitutes in Old Town. We're like, hey, listen, you can make this a lot easier, save a lot of people. You can maybe even, hey, we can even probably bring you into the fold. You just need to play ball. And also, like, shed a tear for Dwight McCarthy. Yeah.
This is easy when Carlo Gugino's naked. Sorry. I'm joking, of course. I don't know which is my favorite scene.
Oddly, you know what's probably my favorites is actually, I really like The Customer Is Always Right.
That whole story, like mini story?
Yeah.
The first
really
part
do.
where he kills the hooker?
Well, no, that's the epilogue. The first bit when he meets the girl on the balcony.
Yeah. She's a hooker too, right?
No. She's running from something that they never reveal what she's running from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Obviously, too, any scene with Marv too is pretty fantastic.
I was gonna say, I think I love the Marv story out of all three of them,
because Marv is the best character, and he's actually the saving grace in Dame to Kill For, because Marv is in. It's actually Mickey Rourke playing Marv as well in A Dame to Kill For, which that's pretty much the best part of that entire movie. The rest of it's really, really bad.
Okay.
So we have them going to the pits, and Dwight gets up, and they have they are essentially IRA.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're definitely IRA without actually saying they're IRA. And of course he chases the only dude who's actually Irish in there. Down
which is
because
the bomb goes off, puts him in the tar, so he just dips into the tar, while the actual Irish actor is cutting his head off. The other guy like, how long is this gonna be? Just trying to take a nap. I'm like, I'm through the bone. Hold on.
Yeah.
Because again, Miho cut his throat to a point, didn't sever his head.
Yes.
So
exactly. I love it when in their confrontation, I don't like to have guns. I like stuff that explodes.
No, the thing was like, well, see, I could have shot you down there, but I got me revolver all wet. I'm sorry, I was lying about that line before. When you blow the roof off a Pope, a tiny little bang bang is not gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
But see, of course, I'll be doing you with me knife. Never give an Irishman a reason for revenge.
Sort of the writing of this was so good to me.
Yeah. And Miho too, like, Miho, you'll die and you won't feel a thing unless she wants to. She twists the blade.
Yeah.
He feels it.
He feels it. Definitely feels it. And then of course we got the final showdown and that kind of reveal where they really telegraphed that when she went to call her mom after Gale said, don't call anybody, don't talk to anybody.
And she looks over at Dallas like, don't tell Gale I called anybody.
Yeah. And it kind of made sense when she gets revealed as the snitch.
Yeah.
And of course, she almost gets killed for it. Obviously.
You precious scrawny little neck. Then we have Stutka and Schultz. The one who's like, just looks down. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right through me. It's like, it didn't even hurt. It's like, there's a note on it. He reads it. I'm like, do you guys want to give me a doctor or something?
And then, of course, he gets one.
The arrow through the back of his head, through the swastika, kind of goes, oh.
Yeah. It's so poetic. I want to get to the alley scene. Because we're running out of time.
Because I think you'll find it's really funny because the way
I don't find it funny. I find it very interesting because it's Frank Miller, and one of Frank Miller's inspirations is the story of the
Battle of Thermopylae. Yeah, that's why I find it funny because it's a direct tie-in to his other graphic novel, where it's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
And he even mentions he even says the line that Leonidas says in 300, not only the novel but in the film.
Which one? He said a lot.
No prisoners. No.
This is like it's 1156.
It's put it this way. It's direct tie into it where it ends at No Mercy.
Okay,
and that's
fine.
Yeah, and you have to love like they get the girl. Obviously, they do the tie-in where he has the Jackie's mouth taped up, but it's still going because he has a grenade in it. It's like,
yeah, I know. It's like to me, it was so obvious when I saw it for the very first time. It's like the guy is really smart. The enforcer, the Michael Clark Duncan, and it's not the first thing he noticed, but Alexis Bledell's character has to say it.
Yeah, it was Becky going, wait. He didn't have no tape on his mouth before.
And of course, it's an ambush in an alley, and everybody gets killed, except for Alexis Bledell, who gets shot. Like Becky gets shot in the arm. Then she runs along and hides. And it ties in with the fact that she went to the hospital and she said it's a broken arm, but it's in a sling because she got shot in the arm.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of puts it in the timeline. And this is vicious.
Now, see, this, not in theatrical.
When she cuts them in half?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nope. So you get to see the panoramic shot of all of the ladies from Old Town shooting downward and then getting torn to pieces. And you have Becky dive into like an alcove, a little under bit of the street here. And that's about it. And then it cuts to Becky. No, from here, then it cuts to Hardigan's story.
Oh, okay.
After Dwight and Gail kiss, my Valkyrie woman, and the love always and never, which is a fun bit because if anyone's a fan of the band Silverstein, the song Always and Never was based off of this story. That's always a funny bit.
And in the extended cut, they kiss, and that's where it cuts to the shorter version of the credits, because it's just. The credits are everybody who worked on the movie plus everyone who worked on specifically for that segment.
Yeah. So with that one on the theatrical, it cuts from them kissing my warrior woman. I love you always and never
to the Josh Hartnett.
Then it cuts to Hardigan waking up in the hospital room with the senator talking to him. So
and then Nancy.
Yeah, so then you have the rest of that story. Then you have at the very end, after when that wraps, then you have the epilogue with Becky in the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
And so the last bit we have was we did just have Becky in the hospital saying, "Well, Mom, car accidents happen all the time. It can happen anywhere. It's not because I'm in the city. And then you have the salesman dressed up as a doctor, and the opening line going, Becky, I love you.
Yeah.
Care for a smoke? You're like, I love you too, Mom. Closing the phone and credits.
And that is it.
Yeah.
So we don't know who he is, where he's from. Is he a mob guy? Is he a Rourke guy? We don't know. But we do know.
If you read the novels, you get a lot more about the salesman.
Okay.
Put it that way. There's a lot more stories about him, and he's a very, very interesting character.
All right, cool. That kind of brings us to the end of this episode and also the entire month.
Yeah.
We're going to switch it up, but not really, for next month. Now, just to sum up this particular movie, I told you I found a new appreciation for the story. Maybe in the way it was just rearranged. Maybe that's the thing that I kind of noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember it in that order rather than the different
actual
order. So I may have just watched the extended cut most of the time that I watched the movie. It was that version.
That's
so
fair.
I don't know. I definitely was on Netflix about a couple of years ago that I've seen, and I remember this version. And I don't remember it was said extended or anything. So I have no idea.
No, it's fair.
But I found a new appreciation. Another noir story that I love. I love noir stories. It's fun. They're fun. And this one went to the crazy side.
Wow. Hey, wait. Are you slowly becoming me, bud?
No, I always love noir stories.
Are our tastes starting to merge a little bit more?
No, not really. I always love noir story because it flows into a detective story.
Yeah.
It really is a detective story. That's why I love Payback so much.
I
love Payback so much.
fair.
And I kind of hate the fact that we didn't have a chance to actually talk about it. But we had an episode here on the show, and then I was a guest on a different episode months later talking about Payback and what everything that was going on. And LA Confidential went back to that last year as well.
Yeah.
You weren't on again. Love it. It's definitely a neo-noir story rather than a full noir story.
And we'll eventually do, if anyone's asking like, well, why didn't he didn't mention Mulholland Drive? We haven't gotten to it yet. We will. We're getting to Lynch. We're getting to Lynch soon.
we're gonna get Lynch. Don't worry about it. But yeah, fantastic watch. Love going back to it. Even if I didn't have the comic book tie-ins, as a standalone movie, it works.
Yeah.
It really works as a standalone movie. If you don't know what's happening, if you don't know who Frank Miller is, works as a movie. By the way, same way with 300. It works so well, even if you don't know it's a comic book originally, or essentially a graphical novel. But yes.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Good.
That's it. No sum up. Okay.
No, like you pretty much summed my opinions. The other one I was just gonna mention was just one thing we talked about backstage before the show started, is that one review where a reviewer, I think with the Tempe Sun or something, said that like, oh, there is no reason for anyone to ever make another comic book movie again. Rodriguez and Miller already made the perfect one in 2005. Like, well,
I'm not sure about that.
From the last couple of MCU movies, at least, but
kind of. All right, cool. That kind of brings us, like I said, to the end. However, next week there will be a show, but it's a brand new month. And because of Jewish holidays and such, it's going to be less episodes in the month, sadly. Yes. But it is what it is. But next week, we are going to talk about Constantine. We may have both Andre and Tom on the show. It depends if Andre can do it. If not, probably just us two but that's
I would
okay
say
with me.
2 movies that made me want to run outside and have a cigarette, even for various different reasons.
I
And
know.
also, did you mention that the theme of the month is?
No, I was gonna.
Yeah.
The theme of the month is heaven and hell. And you take for what you want. The first movie is Constantine. You can guess what we have in store for you because it's going to be a fun one.
I'm a fan of man.
And I'm a fan of you. All right, guys, please, if you don't mind, before we step out the door, just leave a like because it helps the algorithm. And I don't particularly push this show that's so much, but I would like other people to enjoy it because it seems like the people who are here enjoy the show as much as we enjoy making it or just talking about it, just us two friends talk about a movie that we like or dislike because it's fun for us. So if you like it, share it around. Maybe it'll pick up in some sort of algorithm somewhere, whatever. And we'll see what's up. And all the different platforms, if you are on X or Rumble, just join the YouTube. Come on. Just, you know you
Come
like to. Come on. Just hop on over. You don't even have to like or subscribe. Just hop on over. Be in the chat. I can see all 3 chats if you're talking, but be in the YouTube chat. Just for funsies. Anyway, that's it for us. Go watch Constantine. Go watch Constantine for next week, and we'll see you there. And remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. See you next week. You're still here? It's over. Go home.